with the behavior. But I'm saying, when you look at his face, do you feel close to him? Do you want to know him more? Do you want to be friends with this gentleman or maybe sometimes lady? So what I'm saying is, somehow you don't agree with certain behavior. It doesn't make that person worse than you, or it doesn't make that person wrong, because you don't know the whole situation, how he brought up, how he's been working hard in his life to raise his children. You might be so admire with what he has done for his family. So this kind of simple, funny notion come up to us in every day. The purpose of today's discussion is not about religion, philosophical discussion. It's about how to create peace in your daily life in every moment. Because when the judgment comes in about that person, that's when the problem comes. You can have all kinds of standards that you like, you love, that you really want to follow. That's great. It's your life. It's how you want to live in a better life under your understanding. However, it doesn't mean that the person in front of you doesn't have that behavior is a worse person. If you had been in that situation, you might live a worse life than he is doing or she is doing. He or she is already doing really good in that environment and that understanding. So I think, and there are always two sides in a story. In one situation, you can say good, and of course, in the same situation from another, you can always find there's something not very pleasant or happy to have that situation. So only when you see this point, it makes today's discussion really meaningful, because it brings to daily life how to create a peaceful experience we have. So this is my point of view.
I come back to your point about the bringing children up and not giving them a moral framework, not giving them guidelines, I won't say rules. I think it would be a horrendous world if that happened. Who manages a kindergarten, a Christian kindergarten, where we have children from every nationality, race, creed in our kindergarten. We do teach Christian ethics, but we teach respect, and we teach respect for every person. God created us all, and so we teach the respect there. But within that, there is a framework that every child needs, that children need importance differently to where they are. But quite happily, if you
talking about God and a truth and an answer to the ultimate questions and this sort of thing. And I think I probably consider myself an atheist. I was born a Jew and brought up in an atheist household. But I very definitely believe, and I've married a non-Jew, but my children are Jewish and they're told they're Jewish. But to me it doesn't mean anything about God. It means about being a decent person, and it means loving your neighbour and respecting your neighbour, whether they're gay or they're Muslim or they're Christian or they worship the stone or they carry out whatever you might consider bestiality or whatever. I just think, my children have friends at school who are very strong practicing Christians, and when these little 5-year-olds sleep at our place and they ask questions, I answer it as my belief and your mother's belief. And one Christian little boy saw it was Ganesh. And I said, that's someone else's ideal and representation of what you call God. And I didn't say I don't believe in God, and I think Ganesh is just a caricature, and but I don't think it's a matter of what is a God and what we're calling things. I think what we're talking is morality. And I think probably everybody here has a very similar morality about the world, and that's why we're here. That we really, I presume, would all wish that we could all live in peace and respect one another. Not say everybody should live by my rules, but can't we just be happy for our next door neighbour to be, as long as it's not harming others? And I think that's perhaps what Rabbi Diamond said, that some philosophies, I think most people on earth would agree with, that there were wrong philosophies. But generally speaking, I don't think it even has to come back to a God that people seem to be talking about today.
My judgment from this form is about peace. All of this is we are not talking about what our neighbor prostitute, homosexual, whatever, but about peace. Peace will start from individual. About prostitution, we cannot do that because we start not love the family, then we will forget the family, and then we will forget we have our responsibility of the family, like homosexual, homeless. So all of this is starting not loving the family. Like in Judaism, concept of the Judaism is the first is loving the family. If everyone start from the individual, if all the individual is start loving the family, then we have no war anymore. Even in Middle East, they have no war anymore. It's everyone, they have peace of mind, and everyone, it's individual, they have a peace of mind, and they no concept start loving the family. So if they go back to start love to their family, then they will have a peace in around the world and even in Middle East. Thank you.
As I listen to you, your world would be very beautiful, because basically your morality is my morality. If two people are in a consenting relationship, if it works for them, if it makes them happy, and it's between two consenting people, that's my morality as well. So it becomes totally, if it's a mutual relationship with two people, and so the world that you're proposing is such a beautiful world of peace. And I think that if you were a spiritual leader and could bring that notion forward, the world would be a better place.
I have a 6-year-old sister, and she just started going to this Islamic workshop, which where my friends' daughters go. And like she was saying, they teach her the framework, the basic concepts, and Islamic concepts as well. But they never go into particular questions where, because kids don't really, unless you tell them, they don't really think of certain things. And I would also, because I teach Chinese kids English here. And the first school I went to, this is the first time I started teaching after I started wearing my Islamic attire. And I thought, what I was told by the company I was working for is that, oh, you better not wear this because kids are going to ask questions and it's not going to be good. And the parents are going to say things and etc. So I went into class and I was expecting, I was already thinking of answers, because these are 6, 8, 12-year-olds, and you're thinking, what are you going to say? So as soon as I entered, they were just like, hello, teacher, good morning. And I was like, okay. And throughout the entire day, they really did not ask a single question because kids are they're quite curious. They want to know a lot of things. And prior to that, when I got engaged, I had Indian henna on my hand. So that was the first thing these kids noticed. They were like, ew, what's that, this is my hand. And, can I touch it? Do you eat with your hand? And I was just, I had a lot of admiration because I'm thinking, this is the first thing you notice when a person comes in, a covered person, and, consistently wearing it. So I was telling my sister, unless